yeah, can you everyone, this is Jovi. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, yes, my name is Sonifero,
Sorry.
and
And today we will be talking to the founder of
I think I'm getting some feedback.
Yeah. No, it's because of my other phone. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Sonifero, and I'm the creator of Bossmoves that we're going to talk about today. Pretty much, me personally, I started out when I was younger in graphics, art, design, and I was an artist, a musical artist myself. Went on to do law school, went on to do MBA, doctors in international business and economics, and then it did about 20 years in IT. Went on to be an investor in crypto in 2014-15, and then also started doing community spaces, um, different facets of crypto, from NFTs to Web3, education, leading educational spaces, as well as being part of different projects, both on the investor side as well as on the development side, um, and kind of taking in all the lessons learned from each lens: investor, dev, IT, business, taking in all the little facets of experiences, as well as lessons learned. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to share this project. I think it's one of a kind and great things to happen. We're only 2 weeks old, so glad to be here.
That's great to hear. So, let me start with the first question, which is what inspired the creation of Boss Moves?
So early on, I had a idea, say, hey, can I start a project? And I always thought in my mind that everything has already been done, so I kind of just stayed on the investor side of the house, as well as giving some strategic consulting to other projects. But one thing that really helped, and I'm glad I didn't start it earlier. I put that project aside, and I actually went in to help with 4chan, and we, helped grow that community. We brought it from a 200,000 market cap to 34 million in 3 weeks or so, and that was birthed in crypto winter, in the most craziest time you could possibly launch a project. So what that did is it actually taught me that, hey, there is no perfect time, right? The time is now, right? So what I did is, you know, the crypto world is funny, because back in the Shiba and Doge days, when meme was there, slowly people started wanting more structure, more, docs devs and things of that nature, because there's a lot of things going on. And so to bring credibility, people start adding utilities and doxing themselves and bringing structure. Well, people begged for that. People wanted that, from moving to memes into utility. But one thing that people didn't understand: when you move to utility and more of a business, that takes time, right? That doesn't happen overnight. That takes years and years of building a business. So, if something started in 2021 with utilities and really a business mindset, by it only going to really be moving by 2024, 2025. And so what people, and then crypto winter hit, and then when Pepe launched the meme, nostalgia of Shiba and Doge, took over people, right? And so, but what changed is there's more people in crypto in the environment, more scammers, more people who are looking to, just make a quick buck. And so, the amount of tokens and energy started really populating like crazy, where it used to be back in the days, you just, look at investment a month or 2 months, and then slowly became, 3 weeks to 2 weeks to 1 week to a couple of days. Now, the meme craziness, every 2 seconds, you have to look at your wallet, and it's more of in and out, 0 contract renounced. Is it below 100 holders? And people are just getting to a point of being burnt out. There's only so much humanly possible you can handle until anxiety takes over, and slowly it's cyclical. It goes back into a circle. So people are going to start, I'm pretty sure, in a month or so, looking for back to utilities, back to structure. When you get burned out and saturated, where you're not a robot. You can only humanly look at your wallet and move in and out of things. You can't go milliseconds, right? I mean, there's bots that do that. So really what's going to happen is people are going to be, the market is so saturated with all these type of coins popping up every day, that people are going to slowly move back into a 360, back into looking for structure, you're looking for utilities. So the question I ask myself is that, how can we take the energy and vibe of a meme coin, because that is really a unifying facet, but also bring something that has a purpose, right? And so something that you can, that's fun, that you can identify with, and also something that you can stand behind, something with a purpose. So what I did is I actually went and interviewed devs that launch projects. Aside from my own personal skill sets and lessons learned, I went and asked devs, "Hey, now that you launched the project, what would you do differently?" And I interviewed different devs, and the funny thing is, everyone said that they would do something differently. There's no perfect project. Some said, "Hey, man, I wish I didn't go 0-0. I wish I had taxes in the beginning, because now that we've grown, we need funding for listings, we need funding for these things, but we're 0-0, so now we have to kind of look for donations, or people have to kind of help fund that, right?" And some other devs said, "Man, I didn't renounce the contract so early, because technology and crypto moves 1 million miles per hour, right? It's very fluid. It's not like you can build a roadmap and say, hey, 3 years from now, this is how it's going to be," because you used to be able to do that 5-6 years ago. But crypto, any moment, some brilliant 15-year-old can wake up in some part of the world and completely change our world. They can find how to do things 100,000 million times better than we do today, and could just change the truth of what we know today. Could be different tomorrow, and we all know that. Like I always say, there's no expert in crypto. You take a 2-week vacation and you come back to crypto, you'll be a newbie if you're not plugged in 24 hours a day. There's no CNN, there's no news to tell you what's going on. You got to be plugged in to understand crypto. So if you took 2-3 weeks off and you came back, it'll be a whole different world, right? So therefore, you need to be fluid to move and progress in your project, to move from one phase to the other phase, to move from one market cap to the other market cap. It's not one for one. It's not written in stone. And so the authority, a lot of people renounce it, because now that's the phase. It used to be people wanted structure, but now they want to go back to renouncing and getting into this mode. So I took all the lessons learned on what a dev from past projects would have done differently. And, I came up with Bossmoves. And what Bossmoves is, it's unique in a sense. There's nothing really out there like it. It's a meme token, but it plays off of, it's an entrepreneur's token, right? So basically, what Boss Moves is that, hey, there's artists, creators, entrepreneurs, startups, people with innovative ideas in the next generation, in blockchain, in crypto, in NFT, in Web3. What we want to do is foster that innovation and growth and progress in blockchain, right? So what we want to do is, some of the taxes that we're getting into Treasury, we want to turn that into a grant and work outside. One of the things that a lot of people spend time is inside crypto. I'll tell you what, people are inside crypto are going to find you. If you're a token that's launched, they're going to find you. There's call groups, there's Twitter, there's AMAs, there's a lot of things of how people are going to find you. What I'm focusing on is bringing the new holders, outside world in, because right now we're all in a bubble, right? We're only 2% of the investors. 3% are in crypto, even less are in altcoin, even less are in meme coins, right? Probably 1% of us. It's the same people investing in the same projects, and the investments just going in circles. What I want to focus on is open the gateway. I want to go out to local organizations, schools, colleges, different organizations, and say, hey, we want to foster the next generation in crypto, blockchain, NFT, Web3. And here's a grant for someone who has a great business plans, and hold competitions for the next generation to come with the business ideas and help fund them, help them initiate that idea, right? So it's a very, very awesome thing that everyone in crypto can stand behind, fostering the adoption of crypto, fostering innovation. No one's going to be against that. So it's a unifying cause. And the beautiful thing about it is it has no boundary, right? There's every culture, every language, every geographic area. There's someone who's an artist, a creator, a business minder, entrepreneur, innovation. It surpasses all age group. You can be 15 and have an innovative idea and entrepreneur. You could be 80 and still do it, right? So our project is has no boundaries. We touch all languages, cultures, age groups, and so it's a very, very, there's a lot of potential and power in that, right? So number one, we're a meme, but we're connecting and fostering innovation and entrepreneurship in blockchain, and then providing grants. And then we're going to plan on probably having some networking platform to network these entrepreneurs, and a lot of great things that we can branch off of, introduce gaming and AR, and fun things to kind of play off of. Another thing is boss moves. No matter where you go, everybody understands being a boss, right? Like there's hustlers, there's bosses in corporations, there's entrepreneurs, small startups, there's small business owners, and that mentality, that attitude of going, and one of the things is that we're built from a place of struggle, but we'll finish in a place of glory. So we have humble beginnings, and a lot of entrepreneurs, they go through a lot of things, go through a lot of hardships and struggles, but at the end the glory will be ours. And so we're going to follow that narrative. There's a lot of narratives that boss moves could do, and what I say is we're the sexiest meme coin out there. And I put a couple of our tweets pinned up at the top. We have a lot of fun, right? Bosses are everything from, Godfather to Scarface to Elvis, to anyone who's a boss, right? So you can play off of that narrative, make memes, make content around it, but then also connect it to the world of fostering this growth, right? So we had a great launch. We're only 2 weeks old. We hit the 570-90,000 market cap. We're stabilizing at the 450-460 market cap right now. Only 2 weeks old. Um, and we're strategically moving forward, right? So we wanted to protect the initial holders, and by the way, we're still early, right? There's only like 95 holders. We want to protect the initial holders, the first people who come to the table, to protect them and guard them, and then slowly move around. So when we first launched, we had 5% taxes. Why? It stopped all the bots, right? And it only helped and protect the initial holders who was aligned to the vision, aligned to the project. Now we reduced it to 2%. And in the future, we're going to probably reduce it more. But it's a very strategic way of navigating through, because what's true today probably is not true tomorrow. And you have to navigate it through to get to the next market cap, to get to the next level, right? Everything that's true today may not be true tomorrow. So you have to navigate through if you're really for a project. Now, if I just wanted to, make money or do things, I could release 20 zero tokens contract for announce right now. Right now, I could release 20 tokens. Anyone can do it, right? If it was just about that. But this is more than that, right? This is as a purpose. Now think about it. If I go to a local community, school, colleges, and I said, hey, there's a grant, guess what that does? It gives us awareness outside the crypto world. It gives us awareness to news channels. Hey, there's Boss Moves, who's giving a grant to this young entrepreneur organization. What does that do? It gets us in the news. It gets us awareness. It gets us awareness about our project. And there's new people who are not in crypto being able to come into the fold, into crypto, right? So that is what I really love about this project is, the people in crypto is going to find us, guaranteed they're going to find us. But the people outside is where we're going to spend our marketing dollars, is where we're going to spend our energy and focus, is to bring the new holders in. We'll always have the holders that are here. So yeah, again, it's a very exciting time for us. We're brand new, but we're very moving strong with power. We're at the 500 market cap. We got close to 600 market cap with a small amount of holders. If you look at our chart, it's very sexy. It's very solid growth, and I'm all about organic growth. There's nothing that beats organic growth, because once you set a foundation of organic growth, and I've been in other projects, I've been in projects where we organically grew from 20 people, to eventually over 200,000 holders, right? But that takes commitment, that takes dedication, right? The other thing is communication. The people in my project, I communicate nonstop. As a matter of fact, when I was developing, I was communicating with them about, hey, this is in this stage of development, we're moving to testing, we're moving to launch. If there's a question that comes in TG, I like to nip things in the bud, whether it's a question or concern. Everyone knows in TG, I'm there, I answer it. Let's move on, because it's very important in the beginning to have alignment, right? Under one mission, under one vision. Why? Because the holders today are the ones who's going to educate the holders of tomorrow, right? So we need to duplicate ourselves and make sure we're all aligned. So when new holders come in, the first batch of holders are able to guide them, right? Able to show them what we're about, and make sure that theme, that energy, that commitment is carried on. So that's a very 100,000 foot view of the project. Hope that helped.
Okay, yes, that's a great information about BSMB. And the next question that I have is, how do you envision the future of boss moves in the ever evolving cryptocurrency landscape?
Right. So to piggyback on that, so when I developed the project, I was like, okay, how can we get the best of meme coin worlds, but with a purpose and with all these other elements, right? So then I looked at, hey, usually meme coins has about 420 billion, so the supply is very high. So a lot of them, when they get to a certain point, they have to deal with the supply. So what I did is I try to find the sweet spot in all worlds. Now there's no perfection, right? So I try to find a sweet spot for the meme coin. Our supply is only 1 billion, so it's not too large, but it's not too small, right? Um, and so in today's environment, you have to kind of stand out, right? I mean, the zero zeros, fly by night, here today, gone tomorrow. That's always going to be there. There's always going to be there. But what people are going to look for in the next 1 2 months is back to something stable. One thing that what we're proud of is that when we look at our charts, we're very stable in a very unstable world, right? There's high risk, high reward. You go in and people are just, looking for all these projects. And again, there's no financial advice. Everyone's going to do what they're going to do. But we're also trying to find stability, having the meme energy, but finding some sort of stability as we progress, right? So that our motto or our theme is to get the best of both worlds as much as possible. You'll never get perfection, but as much as possible from the lessons learned, from looking at other projects. The beauty of where we're at in crypto is a very beautiful time frame. We're actually living history in real time. In real time today, you're seeing history unfold in crypto. We're going to be chapter 2 or chapter 3 of the crypto books that they're going to write for future generations. There's no blueprint on how to do this. We're all figuring it out as we go day by day in this changing landscape, right? So it's a very exciting time to be in crypto because, like I said, it's a pioneering time. Even if you guys have ideas, this is the time to go and grasp it. So for us, it's kind of bringing something unique, something new, something that people can stand behind, and also bringing stability in a very, very, or trying to bring as much as stability in a very, very unstable world when it comes to meme and now actually even when it comes to alt and stable coins.
All right. So what sets boss moves apart from other meme coins in the market?
So number one, we're just not a meme. We have a meme with a purpose, like I outlined, right? A purpose that people can stand behind. Um, Number two, we are not here for fly by night. Like I said, if it was just that, you can go on Launchpad and release tokens every day. That's not what this is about. This is about bringing stability as well, right? Strategically moving through one phase to the next phase, strategically moving through one market cap to the next market cap. There's no right answer. Every day you have to wake up and determine what is best for the project, what is best today to move forward. Should we move forward? Should we stand still? Should we halt? Should we dial back? These are things that, in order to be successful long term, you have to manage through. And so that's something unique that we do. We're a meme, but we're really managing through strategically in a way that can hopefully bring as much stability as we can. So those are the factors right away that sets us apart in this meme coin um, cryptosphere.
Okay, got it. So, um, how do you ensure the authenticity and uniqueness of the memes in your collection?
So again, we're brand new, right? So the beautiful thing about it is, I mean, now moving forward, the first 2 weeks was really about what we call the rise. Again, the beautiful thing about having this boss narrative is it's also, there's a narrative. Our roadmap is based on chapters of a book, right? Our narrative is this entrepreneur starting up and moving into this world in crypto to eventually become a boss, right? Eventually become, our last chapter is the ascension, right? So moving through this roadmap, we have a narrative, and the narrative is, a new entrepreneur coming into the scene and moving his way up. So outside of the meme, which people can, take in different arenas, right? There's bosses in movies, there's bosses in seriousness, there's bosses in drama, there's bosses in humor, The Office. There's so we have a great a palette of content, right? That the community is now going to start using uh, to get the message out, right? So that's one good thing, is that we're not going to ever run out of themes or bosses. And not only that, it's just not in one area. Like we can pick from movies, we can pick from sitcoms, we can pick from all sorts of arenas to start memeing. Again, we're only 2 weeks old, so the first 2 weeks is really solidifying ourselves. Number one, making sure we had on day one Dex tools, we had day one Twitter verified, lot of day one fundamental items in place, right? Secondly, protect the holders. Thirdly, start really doing awareness of who we are about, brand identity. So this phase is really about awareness. That's why we're doing this at AMA. It's building our brand, our awareness of who we are, what we stand for, how do we come about, where are we going, right? And so the next really month is about brand awareness and building partnerships. Again, around the theme of bosses, our plan is to build 11 partnerships, including us. And so that goes in the narrative 12 bosses, right? That 12 boss roundtable is a big thing, right? That's known. So our ambition is to partner with projects that have win-win, meaning we have a win for them, they have a win for us, and we're under the same umbrella of synergy. There's no competition, and build 12 bosses that will work together. So that's another unique item that we're building on, as well as looking at emerging technologies and seeing what works, right? So the next 3 months is really building partnerships that are win-win partnerships for us, right? Even I don't want to look at anyone as a vendor. If it was just a vendor, I could pay someone, they'll do the job, task, and they're on their way. Being a vendor and being a partner is two different things, right? Being a vendor, you pay them, they do their job, they leave. I don't want vendors. I want partners. I want someone to bring thought leadership, and I'll bring thought leadership, and we partner together. That something's a win for them and that something's a win for us, and we can work long term, because that means they have skin in the game. They're committed, they're dedicated, they're under the same synergy and umbrella with us. I rather spend the time on quality than just pay for quantity, right? quality has long-term potential, right? So it's okay. It's fine. And part of being in a project, like I say, is weaning out the dopamine of today's world. Today's world is 0-0, contract renounced. You look at the call group, you try to go in early, you try to get out. So a lot of people have that anxiety, and people are moving 1 million miles per hour. So when they come to our project, where we're very strategic and civilized and very thought out in how we move about, they 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 have to kind of wean out of all the dopamine in their minds to bring back common sense and critical thinking and foundational organic growth. And I myself had to kind of rein in the thought process as well. So one of the things that you'll find when you come into a project from the anxiety driven world that's out there today is that we're mean, but we're moving in a long term fashion, right? And a lot of our holders are aligned to that. So again, these are the things that separates us. These are the pros of who we are against the landscape of today's crypto and meme coin. We definitely shine and we definitely stand out.
Cool. So, sorry about that. Um, how do you ensure that the memes resonate with the entrepreneurial spirit and journey of Boss Moves?
Yeah. So different people connect different ways, right? Like there's some people they could care less about comedy, right? They're all about when they go and watch a movie, they watch dramas, right? Like and then there's people who just like comedy, they could so when you're like I say, community is not one for one. And that's another thing that I talked about in spaces. When we say community, a lot of people get disconnected on what that means and they don't really know how to move about community. Community for me is probably different from someone else. For instance, there's someone who just invests, they're not engaged in it, but they're part of the community as an investor. Then there's people who invest and they're engaged nonstop in Twitter spaces and TG groups, and they're really engaged in it. And when they think community, they're thinking, oh, this is what community is. Then there's some people who are not in it for the money at all. They already have money. They're just here just to for entertainment, right? Throw dollars around, get into groups, maybe cause drama, maybe cause this. They're just having fun with it. It's not really about money. Then there's people who are just lonely, right? They identify with the community and they stick with the community even if it's not profitable. It's not about profits to them. They went beyond that. They now have fellowship and communion and with people, and that became their family now. So when I say community and when someone else says community, the lenses that we're looking at is different, right? And that's part of the disconnect. Another thing that I like to stress is that once you move out of close to between 100 and 500 people, you're going to have subcultures or sub communities. There's no way that everyone will be always in one way. There's always be subcultures. You can't stop it. Since the dawn of time, when someone did something, someone else will branch out and do it another way or want a different vibe, right? We see that all over the place. When Facebook first came out, when the parents got on it, the people went to Instagram. The next generation, when Instagram came on it, they left and went to Snapchat because every generation does not want to hang out with the older generation, right? But what we want to do is bring it where we're agnostic when it comes to memes. And so if you're a comedy person, guess what? There's a whole bunch of narratives on bosses from a comedy that you can use. If you're dramatic, guess what? There's all sorts of movies that and you can pick from, right? So one thing unique about us is there's nothing that silos or pigeonhole us into only one thing. You can be creative as you want across the board.
Okay. So, are there any plans to allow community members to contribute or suggest memes?
Absolutely. And that's where we're going. Actually, last week we said, okay, let's start, giving the power to the communities to start, doing memes. And on that note, for me, myself, I'm more of a creator, visionary founder. I eventually want to turn this over to the community once we're stabilized at a certain market cap. I think when we're stabilized, maybe about the 30 to 40 million market cap, then we're going to actually have a formal way of handing it over. And that's another thing. A lot of people renounce contract in a way that is just, renounce contract. They go to the community. Community members try to do something in the background. They don't have the skill set. 99.9% of the community don't want to take accountability for a project. They got their own lives to live, right? So then a project gets stagnant because it's for the community, but 99.9% of the community don't want to take accountability or positions or make things happen, nor do they have the skill sets to do that, right? So another thing that we're doing is making sure that there's a time where we formally hand this over in a platform with voting and governance in a very formal way. So yeah, we last week we started, because again, these first 2 weeks was building the foundation. We don't want to just go and just do things for the sake of doing things without a foundation laid, right? If you go and create all these things, but you don't have Twitter in place, it doesn't matter what you create. If you go and do all these things, but your TG is not in place, it doesn't matter what you do, right? So, foundation and laying the foundation is very important. And that's what we've been doing this past 2 weeks. Now that we're laying the foundation, now we're slowly going to start seeing our community start coming up with memes and things of that nature. Because this next 2 weeks, 3 weeks is laid out for AMAs to introduce our project. And so you'll be seeing a lot from us moving forward from the community as well. They're always welcome to bring up ideas, innovation, anything to help. And we already had a lot of people come up and say, "Hey, what about this? Look at this. Look at this." And a lot of them, has come to fruition. We actually engaged and did what they suggested to do. So we're always open for the community and their feedback.
Okay. So, how often are entrepreneurial challenges organized?
So that's another phase coming. So when we go to that phase, the idea is to come up with some unique challenges. Come up with whoever can come up with the best idea, maybe in NFT space or crypto space, and let them bring forth a business plan on what their idea is. Speak on it, do a pitch on it, and then have some panelists from the crypto sphere. I've got a lot of contacts in crypto. Bring some panelists together and judge it, and then pick a winner, right? And so we're planning to do this in certain cycles, maybe monthly, maybe more or less. We haven't gotten to that stage yet, but we do have one of the things we do have pre-adjusted is that we carved out from the get-go in the launch marketing wallets, team wallets, development wallets, rewards wallets. Because one of the things is when you start out is when you need it, not when you're at 30 million market cap. When you start out is when you need the power, and also for exchange and listings we carved out. So we can move quicker and work through partnerships and deals. So yeah, so we're going to plan out. We did one a quick competition. We're actually doing a hip hop rap competition that I put out a tweet, and I'll try to pin it up here as well. Uh, we have a lot of Boss Moves tracks, music behind our graphics, and so we have a competition that whoever can make up the best rap about Boss Moves. The finalist gets I think it was $250 or $200 in Boss Moves. So we're also not just concentrated on business plan, but I started out as an artist, as a musical artist. So I have a heart for artists, musical artists and NFTs, drawing, sculpting, because we're finally at a world where they can get compensated for their work, because all this time they had to deal with other middle people that really didn't get really rewarded for their work. So in the digital world, man, these artists have opportunity to really get compensated for their art, and I'm all for that as well. So it's just not business plan. If you're an artist, if you're a creator, if you're a content creator, you can bring up things that are innovative, and we're going to have different contests, and we're going to keep it fun and innovative. We just don't want to do things that everyone else is doing. We want to think of new and exciting ways to reach the people.
Okay. So, the next question that I have is how do you decide which small business initiatives, incubator, or educational programs to support?
Um, so what we want to work through legitimized organizations, right? Like I have probably like 200,000 DMs, right? One of the things about the space is that people come to you all the time, and you have to take time to vet out if this is legit, if they're true, if they're a true representative of the organization. So in crypto, you get inundated with a lot of people saying, they can help with this and do this, but the time you vet them out, they're not really associated with it, or they're a scam. So what I want to do is actually go out, and I've already started communicating with organizations that are out there that already donate and fund young entrepreneurs, next generation of innovators. So it's very easy synergy for us to work together because they're already solely and specifically focused on the next generation of artists, content creators, entrepreneurs. So for me, I want to work with someone who's legit. I want to work with someone who's already established. And what does that do? If there's an organization that's already established that partners with us, then we become established together, right, out in the world. And so when we partner and we do things, you know, it gets press releases and people know about it, news knows about it. So that's one of the things that I want to do. We're just not going to do things that, are not thought through. We want to work with partners that are legitimate. And that's another thing. This next 2-3 months is actually vetting out, like I said before, true partners, not just vendors, but true partners that are legit partners that we could work with, that we know when we will work together, it's going to go somewhere that is, solid, and they have a history of doing it right. And so yeah, that's who we're going to work with.
Okay, so um, what's the roadmap for Boss Moves in the next year, and how do you plan to incorporate AR/VR technology into Boss Moves?
So it's going to get step by step. I can't say too much because I'm still negotiating right now, but the idea is to, number one, move to NFT and game development, right? And what that entails at a high level is, how do we incorporate Boss Moves into a game situation that is fun, educational, that can touch all the facets, but also incorporate our token into it, because ultimately the idea is to build an ecosystem around Boss Moves, right? The other area we want to really look at is creating a platform for the blockchain entrepreneurs, right? Whether to connect through, chat through, teach through, right? Maybe I'm a dev that launched a project, and I could do a class on, day one through through day 365 of launching a token, and people could sign up for that class. So really, outside of NFT, outside of gaming, build a platform so that entrepreneurs who are already here that know can share with the new entrepreneurs, right? And maybe even find something new, develop something new amongst themselves, right? The third item is really look at emerging technologies, right? Because you always have to kind of look at what's coming up, because what's coming up might replace everything we know, right? So AR is one of the things that we're looking at, and partnering with like really cool people who know how to do AR, and seeing what does it look like, moving forward in the AR arena. How can we incorporate that here, right? um, so again, there's no blueprint for all this. We're not by any means saying we're the expert, but we have a lot of lessons learned, and we're partnering with people who know what they're talking about, and that's what they do, and they're legit, right? So then we could partner with them. So these are the kind of like the facets. In about maybe 2-3 months, I could probably go into more detail. I can't go into detail because we're still working out a lot of the nuances. Remember, we're only 14 days old, so hopefully we'll have another AMA, 2-3 months from now, so I can share, how we progressed.
Okay. So, the last question that I have is, what message would you like to convey to potential Boss Moves investors or community members?
Number one, just look at us. Look at the pin tweet. We're the sexiest project out there, hands down, even to our buy bot. We are out there to be known. I mean, we're only 2 weeks old. A lot of people already know about Boss Moves, right? Not only are we the sexiest project, we're a meme, but with a purpose that you can stand behind. There's no one in this blockchain world who will say, no, I don't agree to foster blockchain adoption. Everyone agrees. The other thing, since I'm talking about that point, who else will agree with that? Coinbase will agree with it. Lbank will agree with it. Swift will agree with it, right? DexTools will agree with it. CoinGecko will agree with it. CoinMarketCap will agree with it, right? Who does not want adoption to foster this, right? Who does not want to partner with someone who's doing that? There's no one who, everyone can get behind this, right? So when you're looking at a project, man, we are out the gate. Our charts look amazing. We hit close to 600,000 market cap in 10 days. We're solid. If you come to our TG group, you'll see that we're very community based, very collaborative, very communicative, very transparent. I guarantee you'll never see a project where the dev is continuously communicating with the community nonstop. So we're sexy. We have great potential and purpose to stand behind. We're just not a meme. We have a purpose, but we have a community. We have leadership, and we have a lot of communication about how we're moving and when we're moving. And thirdly, and lastly, we're very moving in a very stable, civilized, and strategic manner. So if you want all these elements, not just fly by night, right? Because you can be there one night and then look at your wallet tomorrow and it's all not there no more, right? So if you look at all the facets, and that's how I looked at the project. Remember, I have also the investment glasses on, not just the dev, not just technology, but I'm an investor too. And I said, hey, if I'm an investor, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the best in meme coin world, but also with a purpose, right? I want the best of both worlds. And that is why this project was birthed, is to get the best as possible. Now, you'll never be perfect. And I'm saying we'll have our challenges too. We'll have our ups and downs. But our energy, our theme, and our core is having the meme energy, but also having a purpose and having fun throughout, having a stable chart, organically going through it and moving through it with holders, with progression on our roadmap, with different utilities and partnerships that we can develop.
Okay, so we will be opening up the questions. I mean, the floor for our audiences if they want to ask questions. So, just request to be able to speak, and then you can ask your questions. So let's see. Wait. Let's hear it from Sam's. Yep.
Yeah, interesting space. Now, whenever I think of Ceci, boss moves will come to mind. So I want to know, uh, what future would you say is your best future so far that when you think about it, you get all excited. So what future would you say that is?
Sorry, I didn't catch the last part of what you're saying.
Yeah, I was
Can
like,
you
what
repeat that?
what future or do you think is your best future that whenever you think about your project, you just get all excited
Yeah.
about the future?
Yeah. My future, the best future, is being on outside, not crypto, being on the outside news saying that there's a crypto project called Boss Moves who's helping the next generation of innovators, creators in the blockchain. My best vision is for that to be in the news, in the newspaper, in news, mainstream news. Get that. That is my goal, because I can already do all the rest inside the crypto world. I can hit all the crypto world. But what I really want to connect with is the outside world, saying, they have a vision of crypto. Oh, it's this, it's pyramid scam, is all this negative things, FTX, all these negative, and we're in crypto winter, so a lot of losses and all these things. What I want to bring to the public is a very positive, positive entity, altruistic, philanthropic, that, hey, crypto, whether you like it or not, is the future. But we're not here to do this or this, but we're here to do all that. But we're also here to help the next generation. And that message is so powerful. And I want that message to be in the public domain for Boss Moves.
Okay, thank you. So, anyone who would want to ask question, let's hear it from Uncle Umar.
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for bringing me up to ask my question. My question to Sonny Pharaoh, Boss Moves, is just a general.
Did we lose him? I can't hear
Uh,
him. Can anyone else?
I can.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Am
now
I
you
audible?
are. Now you are.
Okay. Okay. So during the AMA, I didn't hear you talk about your business model. So I would like to know, like, how do you tend to generate revenue for Boss Moves to keep the project going? Do you depend on investors, or you have a budget already set aside for it? Thank you.
Um, yeah. So one of the lessons learned, like I said, is, so we have taxes, right? Two ways. Before it was launched, we already reserved certain percentage into different purposes: marketing, development, team, partnerships, exchange listings, outside of Uniswap. So number one, we already set aside percentage of our token for each of these areas. So that way, from the beginning, we're able to move, you know, have a team, make sure that they're taken care of, start building partnerships. So I we already have that reserved. So that's number one. Number two is the taxes go into treasury, also as we move forward. Eventually, I do foresee that taxes being 0-0, but until we get to a point, a certain market cap, um, that can be stabilized, we're going to have taxes. So to answer your questions of how we're going to move forward or business model, again, we're meme token at the end of the day, right? It's not really a business model. We're standalone meme token. However, we've already carved out percentages for all these to get us started, so we can be stabilized. And then we have a tax mechanism that will fund the treasury for until we get to a certain point of stability where we can move that to 0-0. So I hope I answered the question on how it's set up.
Okay. So yeah, we have more people who want to ask questions. Let's go, Trey. Hello, Trey. Can you hear us?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, my question is regarding your regulation. Like, what do you think, or what is your team doing concerning regulation? Because we have a lot of projects that have been banned in some countries. So, in order to avoid such scenarios in your project, what are your team doing in regard to regulation status?
Yeah, so for us, like I said, eventually we're gonna hand this over to the community, um, but we're also looking at where to be based. At the end of the day, there's a lot of places that people are being based in UAE and different things of that nature. So there's a lot of avenues for that. Um, right now, the main focus is just the fundamentals, just getting this fundamentally in place so it can be handed over to the community. And at that time, or even before, depending on how things go, um, if we need to be based somewhere else, we can. Again, that is more of how the community eventually wants to take this project. Remember, I'm just initiating this, but it's really a community project from day one. I'm just helping guiding it to build a initial structure. But this is always a community standalone meme token, right? So I just want to be clear. It's not financial advice. This is a standalone meme token. There's no business per se right now. But not to say it can't evolve that way. We're just trying to make sure that we are not just a fly by night. Like if we wanted to be that type of token, we could have just put 0, 0, just pump it and just be done with it. But like I said, we want to see how best of both worlds we can. But at the end of the day, we're a standalone meme token. That's what we are right now. How this will progress in the future, there's a lot of possibilities, right? And as we progress, then you can navigate through all these different things, right? We're only 2 weeks old, right? So it could go a lot of different ways, right? If we hit 100 million market cap in next month, then yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of opportunities, a lot of things on how to move forward with it. But we're taking it step by step. We're focusing on fundamentals. We're focusing on organic growth. Uh, like I said, a lot of people are really looking for numbers, numbers, numbers. You know, um, it's just not one levers. For instance, some people think it's numbers, some people think it's holders, some people think it's volumes. I could show you right now a project with close to 1,000 holders, um, X volume, but only a $17,000 market cap. We hit close to 600,000 market cap. So it's just not one thing or another. It's levers, or if you're driving a car, just having volume and just pressing on the gas alone is not going to move you somewhere. Or if you're looking at holders and it's a steering wheel, and just the steering wheel alone is not going to get you anywhere. Just changing the gears is not going to get you anywhere. Or you can floor it, press on the gas, and you might wreck into something, right? You can let all the levers go. 0, 0, this, all that levers go. But it doesn't mean you're getting to a destination. You can easily crash because you just went all out, right? Here, it's more of strategic. When do I move the steering wheel? When do I press on the gas? When do I press on the brake? When do I change the gear to get to a place? So one of the things we have to re-educate people, bring them back to common sense and critical thinking, is that they're indoctrinated right now in this crypto sphere to only look at 0, 0 contract renounce, under holders, volume. Next, 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 next. So it's all our faults, right? It's everybody's fault that it created this type of environment. Because again, there's a lot of factors. People want high risk, high reward. People are motivated by that. So all of us created what's out there, but what's out there is not gonna last. It's not humanly possible. It can't last, right? Um, so part of this is bringing people slowly back to common sense. Hey, man. Okay, say, and I always say that. I said, hey guys, I can easily go 0, 0 right now. Go go pay on Ethereum trending, ETH trending, go pay all these things. And yeah, we can have volume. Yeah, we can have holders. But is it going to last? Right? No, it's not. People are just going to go to the next one, right? Like some other thing that's going to be wrapped or something, right? So this is different because we're kind of strategically making sure we grow organically. We press the brake when we need to. We press the gas when we need to because we're trying to navigate through a destination, right? We can't just have only one, only two, or put everything at high gear and just go crashing into things, right? So again, that's the analogy that I use to try to explain to the core of the closest of what we are and what we're trying to achieve.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I don't think we have more questions, and we are running out of time. So what is your last message for everyone who's listening and who's going to listen to the recording of this Twitter space?
You can make moves. You can make moves. You can make moves all over cryptosphere. You can make moves or you can make boss moves. We're boss moves. And everything we do is strategic and civilized. We have a lot of fun. We got a lot of great potential. We hands down are the sexiest. We hands down have that on lock, right? We have the purpose on lock. There's nothing like what we have. Our potential to be in the outside world for partnerships on organizations, partnerships in any company. Again, I'm putting this out there. Who wouldn't want crypto adoption and innovation? All the people that are all the companies that are in crypto today, which would absolutely stand behind this, right? So there's a lot of potential. Here's the other thing. We're really, really early. We only have 95 holders. We're only 2 weeks old. So come sit at the table because, like I said, the people in the beginning sitting at the table and some people who left, they wish they had that rare seat back at the table 4 months from now, right? So again, we have all the benefits of a meme, but we're strategically moving for it. And we have the branding, we have the identity, we have the purpose, we have the community, we have organic growth. If you want to find a home where you can just wake up and not be in anxiety, looking at your wallet and anxiety if this community is going to be there or not, well, we're different in that, right? And again, you can make you can make moves or you can make boss moves. Come join us. Our TG, you can look at the pin code there. Our TG's there. Our Twitter's there. You can check out our website. TG is probably where you get the latest and greatest news right away. And then we kind of transfer that over to Twitter. But love you guys. I love the energy. I love the dialogue. I love the questions. We're here to take over, but we're going to do it in a steady, concise, strategic manner. And thanks a lot, for SWFT Blockchain. You guys have been great. Retweet the room, give them a follow. Everyone follow each other. So our partnership with SWFT, again, they're kind of new and budding. We're kind of new and budding, and we're looking for long-term, win-win situations. We're looking for long-term growth with SWFT. So yeah, a lot of great, exciting things ahead. So thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you so much. So, for everyone who has joined today and who's going to listen to the recording of this, thank you so much. Follow us on Twitter and also follow Boss Moves on Twitter. And yeah, have a good day and see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.